Want to break into investment banking, but your resume looks like everyone else's? Here's a brutal truth. The smartest candidates don't just compete, they stand out. They build brands. In today's finance world, GP and internships ain't enough. You need to be known before you are needed. But how do you do that without sounding fake? Or worse, cringe? As stated in the last catch up, you absolutely won't want to miss our next video. We will be diving deep into building a personal brand in finance. I show you how to craft a personal brand that screams credibility and confidence with real life examples from people who made it to Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, and more without Ivy League degrees. And don't miss out on the last three. They have proven to be the game changer for the ambitious. Now, whether you are networking on LinkedIn, building thought leadership, or mastering the humble brand, this is your blueprint to go from forgettable to irresistible. Let's build your finance brand that gets the right people talking before the interview even starts. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the series Getting into IB. For those who don't know about the series, so I have carved out all the episodes of Bankers Bootcamp into a series under three heads: Getting into IB, Certifications, and Financial Concepts. If you're laser focused on breaking into the competitive world of investment banking, whether you are a driven finance student or a seasoned professional looking to make a switch, you are in the right place. Today, we are diving deep into how to build a personal brand that not only gets you noticed, but also positions you as a top tier candidate. We have all seen those generic build your personal brand videos, right? They often leave you feeling like, okay, great, but how does this actually apply to me and my ambition to work in investment banking? Well, today is different. We are tackling 15 crucial areas where personal branding advice often falls short, and we are tailoring it specifically for you with real life examples to illustrate each point. Let's get started. First up, the key insight. Let's talk about something many creators get wrong: confusing popularity with performance. It's easy to get caught up in the number of LinkedIn connections or the likes on your posts, but let's be real. A high follow account doesn't automatically translate to a strong personal brand that resonates with investment banking recruiters. Take Sarah Chan, a recent MBA graduate targeting M&A roles. Initially, she focused on rapidly increasing her LinkedIn connections, even if they were not directly related to finance. While she amassed a large network, her posts lacked specific insights and didn't generate meaningful engagement with IB professionals. It wasn't until she shifted her focus to sharing thoughtful analysis of the recent M&A deals and engaging discussions with the finance-focused groups that she started receiving interest from her recruiters. Her takeaway: quality of engagement and relevance of content trump sheer numbers. Now this leads to our next strategic move: the lack of finance-specific examples. You might see general advice about sharing your expertise, but what does that really look like for someone targeting investment banking? It's not just about posting pretty charts. It's about sharing your analysis of recent M&A deals, offering your perspective on market trends affecting specific sectors relevant to IB, or even dissecting the nuances of financial modeling techniques. Consider Amit Patel, a final year finance student. Instead of just saying he was interested in investment banking, he regularly posted short, well-researched analysis of recent IPOs in the Indian market on LinkedIn. He would break down the company's financials, the valuation multiples, and the potential risks and rewards for investors. One of his analysis on a prominent tech IPO caught the attention of an analyst at a Mumbai-based investment bank, leading to an informational interview. Amit's finance-specific content showcased his understanding of the industry in a tangible way. The next one is an insider tip. We have all encountered generic advice without depth. Tips be like, be authentic or network more, are thrown around without much explanation. What does being authentic even mean in the context of building a professional brand in finance? It means showcasing your genuine passion for the industry, your intellectual curiosity, and work ethic in a way that feels real, not forced. Look at Priya Singh, a career changer from tech background aiming for a role in a sustainability focused investment bank. Instead of just saying she was passionate about ESG, she shared her journey of learning about sustainable finance, discussed specific green bond issuances, and articulated her personal reasons for wanting to contribute to this field. This genuine narrative, coupled with her relevant tech skills, resonated with recruiters who saw her authenticity and commitment. Network more? For Rohan Gupta, this meant actively participating in online forums related to investment banking, asking insightful questions during webinars hosted by these investment banks, and sending personalized connection requests on LinkedIn referencing specific achievements of the content or content of the people he wanted to connect with. He didn't just send generic requests, he showed genuine interest and initiated meaningful conversations. Now the game changer. Let's talk about absence of clear target audience. If you're creating content for everyone, you are creating content for no one. For those targeting investment banking, your primary audience on platforms like LinkedIn should be recruiters, hiring managers, and investment banking professionals at your target firms. Divya Krishnan, a student at IIM Bangalore, understood this well. She meticulously researched the investment banking divisions of her target firms and tailored her LinkedIn activity accordingly. She followed recruiters and analysts from those banks, engaged with their posts thoughtfully, and shared content relevant to the specific sectors those banks were active in. For instance, if a particular bank was known for its strong presence in infrastructure sector, Divya would share articles of her analysis related to infrastructure finance in India. This targeted approach ensured her efforts were seen by the right people. Now, the reputation builder. We often see a missing element of personalization. Generic advice doesn't address your unique background, skills, and career goals. James O'Connell, a history major who successfully broke into investment banking, didn't try to hide his non-traditional background. Instead, he highlighted the analytical and research skills he honed through his history degree, drawing parallels to the due diligence process in the M&A. He also emphasized his strong communication and storytelling abilities, crucial for the client presentations. His LinkedIn profile and networking conversations were tailored to showcase how his unique skill set could be an asset in the investment banking environment, offering a different perspective. Well, now, the next one is really the tactic to win. Let's be honest, the finance world is full of jargons, and sometimes personal branding advice falls into the trap of overusing buzzwords without explanation. Sneha Reddy noticed many aspiring bankers on LinkedIn using terms like disruptive innovation and synergistic value creation without providing any context or their own understanding. Instead, when Sneha discussed a recent tech acquisition, she didn't say it would lead to synergies. She specifically outlined the potential cost synergies through operational efficiencies and revenue synergies through cross-selling opportunities, backing it up with her understanding of the companies involved. This demonstrated actual knowledge rather than just the ability to use the buzzwords. The next one is really the standout strategy. Abstract advice isn't enough. You need practical tools and templates. So here are a few ideas to get you started. Content calendar template. Create a simple spreadsheet with the columns for date, platforms like LinkedIn, Twitter, topics like IPO analysis, sector spotlight, content idea, specific article and analysis, and status, that is to do, in progress, or published. For example, for next Monday on LinkedIn, the topic could be Indian IPO market update, and the content idea could be a brief analysis of the recent any specific IPO and its implication. LinkedIn profile optimization checklist. Go through your profile and ensure your headline clearly states your target role and key skills. For example, aspiring investment banker, M&A analyst, valuation, CFA level 1 candidate. Your about section tells your story, highlights your passion for IB, and quantifies any relevant achievements. For example, let a team in an university case competition focus on valuing a potential acquisition resulting in the top 3 finish. Your experience section uses action verbs and focuses on transferable skills. even from non-finance roles. Analyzed large data sets to identify key trends, leading to a 15% improvement in an earlier role. Networking outreach template. When connecting on LinkedIn, use a template like, "Dear, I came across your insightful post on, as someone also keenly interested in, I would appreciate the opportunity to connect and learn from your experience at." Now a networking nugget. A crucial aspect of building a personal brand is engaging with your audience. Siddharth Nair, a professional looking to transition into private equity, made it a point to respond thoughtfully to every comment and direct his message he received on LinkedIn posts. When someone asked for resources on valuation techniques, he not only provided a few recommendations but also offered to share a basic model he had built, anonymized of course. This willingness to help and engaging fostered a community around his profile and positioned him as a knowledgeable and approachable individual. The next one is the credibility move. Your personal brand should be consistent across all platforms. There's often a lack of guidance on how you integrate your presence across LinkedIn, Twitter, and other relevant channels. Aryan Khan, targeting a role in equity research, used LinkedIn for sharing his detailed stock analysis. He would then share key takeaways and a link to his full analysis on Twitter, using relevant hashtags to reach out to a wider audience. On a finance-focused forum, he would participate in discussions, often referencing his LinkedIn articles for a more in-depth explanation. This cross-platform strategy ensured his insights reached different segments of his target audience and reinforced his expertise. The next one is the positioning secret. Personal branding strategies need to be tailored to your career stage. Now, the advice for a finance student will differ from that of a seasoned professional looking to switch into IB. For finance students, here's an example. Kavya Menon, a final year BCom student, focused her LinkedIn profile on her strong academic performance, her involvement in the finance club, where she led a stock pitch competition, and her recent internship at a boutique investment firm. Her posts highlighted her learning journey, her enthusiasm for finance, and her developing analytical skills. On the other hand, for working professionals, here's an example. Vikram Sharma, a senior manager in corporate finance looking to move into investment banking role, leveraged his LinkedIn to showcase his experience in leading complex financial projects, his deep understanding of corporate strategy, and his proven track record of driving value creation. His post focused on sharing his insights on industry trends and how his past experience directly translated to the demands of an investment banking role. Now, the visibility hack. In today's interconnected world, ignoring global and cultural considerations is a significant oversight. For the Indian diaspora aiming for the global investment banks, consider these points. Highlighting international experience. Preetham Das, who studied in the UK and then worked in Singapore before applying to investment banks in London and New York, prominently featured his international academic and professional experience on his LinkedIn profile. He emphasized his adaptability, his understanding of different business cultures, and his ability to work effectively in diverse teams, key attributes for global firms. Cultural nuances in communication. Anjali Rao, while networking with professionals in US-based investment banks, researched the communication styles prevalent in those firms. She adopted a direct yet respectful approach in her emails and conversations, being mindful of time zone differences and professional etiquette common in the US business environment. Leveraging your network. Sunil Kumar, an alumnus of our graduation college, actively reached out to the extensive network of his alumni working in investment banks globally. He leveraged these connections for informational interviews and mentorship, understanding the power of shared background and experience. Showcasing global awareness. Natasha Kapoor regularly shared articles and her analysis on LinkedIn about the interplay between Indian and global economies, demonstrating her understanding of international financial markets and their impact on potential investment banking deals. Now the last three. This is where the game becomes really interesting. This next one is a signature step. How do you know if your personal branding efforts are actually working? There's often a lack of discussion on metrics for measuring success. While vanity metrics ain't the goal, Here are some more meaningful indicators. Increased profile views from target companies. Aryan Verma started tracking his LinkedIn profile views weekly. Initially, most views were from his university network. After consistently posting insightful content related to the energy sector, that was his target, he noticed a significant increase in the profile views from recruiters and analysts at investment banks known for their energy practice. Growth in relevant connections. Sia Malhotra set a goal to connect with at least 5 investment banking professionals or recruiters in her target firms each week. She tracked connection requests and acceptance rate, focusing on the quality and relevance of her connection. Engagement of your content. Rohan Patel started paying attention to the comments and shares on his LinkedIn posts. When his analysis started generating thoughtful discussions and being shared by the investment banking professionals, he knew his content was resonating with the right audience. Job interview invitations. Ultimately, James O'Connell, the history major, attributed several of his interview invitations to the way he had strategically built his personal brand online, highlighting his unique skills and passion for finance. Now the magnet move. Personal branding, it doesn't have to be a rocket science. Sometimes creators overcomplicate the branding process, making it seem daunting. Divya Mehra initially felt overwhelmed by the idea of building a personal brand. She thought she needed a fancy website and a complex content strategy. However, she started small by simply sharing one thoughtful post per week on LinkedIn, focusing on her learnings from her finance coursework and her perspective on recent market news. Over time, as she became more comfortable, she gradually increased her posting frequency and explored other content formats. Her key takeaway was to start with consistency and build from there. Now the smart play. Let's talk about common pitfalls to avoid in personal branding for investment banking. Inconsistency. Neha Gupta initially posted frequently on LinkedIn but then went silent for weeks due to her academic workload. This inconsistent activity diluted her impact and made it harder to build momentum. Being too generic. Suresh Kumar's LinkedIn profile and posts were very general, stating his interest in finance without specifying any particular area or showcasing unique insights. This made him blend in with countless other aspiring finance professionals. Negative or unprofessional content. Priya Verma once shared a frustrated rant on Twitter about a challenging assignment. Even though it wasn't directly related to finance, it raised concerns about her professionalism among recruiters who came across her profile, not engaging authentically. Rahul Sharma tried to leave generic, overly complimentary comments on senior bankers' posts, which came across as insincere and didn't lead to meaningful connection. Ignoring feedback. Kavita Iyer received constructive criticism on one of her LinkedIn analysis, but she dismissed it defensively, instead of using it as an opportunity to learn and improve. Now the final branding rule. For those targeting specific areas within investment banking, such as fintech or investment banking like ECM, DCM, consider specializing your content accordingly. Vikram Malhotra, who was set on working in a fintech-focused investment banking team, dedicated his LinkedIn activity to analyzing trends in the Indian fintech space, discussing regulatory developments and sharing his perspectives on potential M&A and investment opportunities within the sector. This niche specialization made him a more compelling candidate for firms looking for expertise in that specific area. Now, building a powerful personal brand for investment banking takes time and effort. But by focusing on these 15 key areas, learning from the real life examples, and tailoring your own approach, you can significantly increase your visibility and credibility within the industry. Remember, it's not just about getting noticed, it's about being remembered for the right reasons and strategically positioning yourself for your dream role. What are your biggest takeaways from these real life examples? Share your thoughts and any questions you have in the comments below. And if you found this video packed with valuable insights, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss on our future content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where I'll be dissecting our financial concept. Till then, keep learning, keep grinding, and keep moving closer to your dream role.